Greetings and welcome back to Ship of Fools, a nautical D&D actual play podcast. My name is Hannah MacLeod, and I am, as always, your dungeon master on this nautical adventure. Joining me today, I have Andy Latai,
Finn Fisher,
Lonnie Stevenson,
Regin Starkweather,
and Taylor Wallace.
Malachi Kassir.
And we are back. I feel like I was talking really fast through that, even more so than usual, but it's just the excitement in me.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the good stuff.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do a quick recap, and then we can dive right in.
I'm so afraid.
Last episode, the party made their way through Retval's labs as the tower is being actively bombarded by the allies of the Archaeological Artificers Association. The labs seemed to be mostly deserted. You had dispatched some sort of foul creature, and then sorted through collecting magic items, documents where you could find them. You got a look at the large store of artillery that Retval has been supplying to the Lithiosian military. And in a secret room off of one of Retval's labs, you discovered some sort of small room that contained a carpet, which I believe you brought with you, and more interestingly, two large crystals with people in them. One of them a human woman with glowing veins all through her body, and one of them your friend Nell. You freed Nell from the crystal, and kind of quickly put as many pieces as you could put together in this hectic situation, came to the conclusion that something funky was going on with what Ben had told you, raced up to where Malachi's locate object spell was telling him his holy symbol was, to find Ben alone at the top of the tower with some sort of box-like device that had Malachi's holy symbol in it. And you briefly went back and forth with Ben, and then pretty quickly Regin tried to tackle him, and then Finn turned him into a snail. As you started to go try and figure out what had happened to Alden and Shiloh so that you all could get out before this tower, which is imminently about to exploded, you found yourselves interrupted by first the adventurer and then Dr. Retval. Malachi stayed behind to kind of hold them off, which mostly just involved a lot of confusing talking back and forth, and one
they
very
may or may not have
well-placed
slept
channel
together.
divinity. Unclear on the nature of any of the relationships there. You found Alden and Shiloh, formed a very tentative alliance with the adventurer, and all of you were making it out of the tower and almost home free when Dr. Retval teleported down in front of you, held out a hand to Nell, cast a spell on them and said that it was time to go. Regin attempted to counterspell, but the counterspell didn't quite go through, and you all saw Nell's eyes go glassy as they fell under some sort of charm effect. So that's where we're picking up now. So, in just a second, we are going to go ahead and roll initiative. But first off, couple things to establish about the situation. So, first of all, a couple things that you guys would have noticed already that we just didn't mention last time. For one thing, it looks like Shiloh, Alden, and Ben, kind of before whatever happened with them that you haven't really gotten the full details on yet, it looks like they did run into a fight with some guards. So they're down. Alden's down 10 hit points, leaving him at a total of 19. Shiloh's at 24. And then Ben looked like he was down some hit points as well, and is now a snail with 1 hit point. Additionally, I will go ahead and tell you that Shiloh has 2 first-level spell slots left, and that's it. Nira's doing better on her spell slots. She's still got most of them, mostly because she just attacks with her sword most of the time. But, yeah, so that's the NPC status situation. Additionally, you would have noticed, Malachi, as you're, like, holding this, device in your hands, that the little, like, glass box, that has your holy symbol in it, looks, openable. Like, it looks like you can just kind of open that and could take your holy symbol out if you so desired. It is not like fixed. It seems like a compartment that is meant to have things taken in and out of it.
Would I have to use like an action economy object interaction to do that?
I will say it's an object interaction to take your holy symbol out of the device. Or if you think you would have taken it out as soon as you notice that, we can say that you already took it out.
Could I, like, if I'm just holding the box, am I still able to use it, or do I have to be physically, like...
I think I would let you use it while it's in the box.
I mean, I don't know what else I'll do with my object interaction, so it's fine.
Yeah, but, leaving your options open. Cool. And then the other thing is we noticed off air in between episodes last time that Malachi took full damage from the adventurer's blade ward when you walked through it, when you, in fact, have Aura of Warding, and so should have only taken half damage. So you took 17 damage from that rather than 34. Okay, everybody go ahead and roll initiative for me, and then I will describe the scene that you are looking at.
Woo! God damn it. 21.
Ooh.
2.
Finn got a 12. Nurgle got a nat 1.
Nurgle, buddy.
What a fucking spread.
So he does have 3 overall.
May I just remind everyone that a great course of action would be remaining within 10 feet of Malachi.
Okay, so it is still thunderstorming. There is still a big, massive, proper Sea of Storms storm raging around you. You guys are standing, you've gotten maybe like 30 feet from the door of the tower. You are 150 feet from the water's edge, kind of over this like rocky this rocky beach, one of those like lots of big rocks that you have to kind of jump over and step over and stuff like that. This is not anything nice or sandy, but you are 150 feet from the water's edge. The nearest ship is 300 feet out, and there are no like rowboats or anything like that. It looks like everyone is all of AAA's allies. The ships are going. Especially because you can see that still on the horizon, in fact, closer than on the horizon now, there is this fleet of Lithiosian ships that are clearly headed toward the tower to kind of try and stop whatever's going on here.
So when you say near ship 300 feet out, that's 300 feet away from the water's edge,
Correct.
Right? Not
Yes.
from us.
Correct.
I'm assuming that's a ship that we would, like, that's one of our ships, not...
Yes.
Okay.
It looks like, actually, as you guys are sort of looking at it and looking at the sails, looks like it's Amelia's ship is the closest one to you. And then a little bit further out is, like, the adventurer's ship, her sort of, like, main vessel, and then a few other allies of AAA.
Okay. Oh, wait, sorry, one more question. How far did you say we are from the tower again?
Like 30 feet. The tower's, like, 30 feet behind you.
Cool.
And you guys currently, all of you are in a clump, because you were all sort of, like, walking together, so your whole group is in a group around each other. Finn has Ben, correct? Snail Ben?
Yeah.
And is he just, like, in your pocket?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. And then...
Because my hands are full with the fish tank.
Right.
Yeah, they sure are.
Did that guy roll initiative?
Oh yeah, can my little fish roll initiative?
He has legs after all.
If your little fish rolls initiative, then he becomes a valid target for death. So we can leave him out of initiative.
He will not be rolling initiative.
Great. And then Retval also has teleported down and is standing 30 feet in front of you guys.
Is he between us and the shore?
He is between you and the shore.
Okay.
Yes. And you can, of course, like, run around him to get to the shore if you want to, because it's all open. But he teleported down to block your path. The other thing that I will mention about Retval at this moment is that he, as you guys are looking at him, you can see that his form is sort of, like, shimmering and shifting. He clearly has some sort of defensive thing already cast on him that's going to make him harder to hit.
Cringe.
Dispel that bitch.
Fellas, is it cringe to be a wizard?
It is so cringe to be a wizard.
Cool. Does anybody have any other questions about the situation?
Yeah. My question is, if I just cold cock Retval, I feel like I should just be able
Win?
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Listen.
he's a fucking nerd, dude. Like, you never punched out your chemistry teacher? Like,
Oh, this guy's a wimp, yeah.
If you'd like to do that, Nani, I have great news for you. You're first in initiative. So
Don't leave Malachi's aura.
this is the situation. Go ahead and take your turn.
I'm gonna leave Malachi's aura.
You fool! Why do I even have this aura?
Okay, so Bestie Nell has just been visibly fucked with.
Charmed. Yeah, they're kind of like standing there. Their eyes are glassy. Their face has sort of gone expressionless.
And Worsty Retval said the phrase, "Let's go."
And sort of held out his hand.
Okay. I would like to pick up Nell, fireman carry style,
Okay.
and just body them and have them across my shoulders.
Cool. Go ahead and make a grapple check. They are going to try to get away. Athletics contested by, they get to choose athletics or acrobatics. They'll be doing acrobatics. It's a lot better.
11?
Yeah, I rolled a natural 19, so that's a
Wow.
like 26 or something.
I rolled a natural
ridiculous.
5.
So you sort of go to grab them as they're standing there looking stunned, and they just, like, with way more dexterity than you expected, just shift out of your way. Would you like to do anything with your bonus action or your movement?
Why is it that the only times I ever roll sensationally poorly are the times that I had cool ideas?
I know.
I think it's a hate crime. I'm gonna go get up in Retval's face.
Okay.
I have nothing to say to him. I just want to loom.
Cool. You run right up to him and loom.
No. It's not a run. It's a
Oh.
it's a slow, purposeful stalk,
For 6
Cool.
seconds.
like a Roman Reigns entrance.
Cool. Yeah, you slowly and purposefully stalk up to him. He looks mostly unfazed. You see a sort of, like, slight smile at the corner of his mouth, and he says, Subject 387. Good to see you again.
I spit in his face.
Uncivilized. Cool. That is Alden's turn. An example of parallel thinking here, he's gonna try and grab Nell.
Nice.
And because exact same train of thought as you, clearly something is not right here. So he's just gonna try and grab and hold on to them.
Boyfriends, best friends think alike.
So I rolled a 16 for Alden and an 11 for Nell. So Nell's comes to a 18.
Ah.
I think Alden still beats it, though. Let me double check his athletics. Yeah, he's got a +6 to athletics, so that's a 22 for him.
He's a fighty boy.
Yeah, so you see, basically, as Nell sidesteps Regin, Alden just kind of grabs them and holds onto them. Just, like, snap out of it. Awesome. Next up is Retval. So, he sort of looks first at Regin, standing directly in front of him. You see his mouth sort of becomes a thin line as he looks just generally annoyed with the entire situation. He also, like, his glasses are covered in flecks of water. His hair is, like, soaked. All of you are getting absolutely
lucky.
soaked out
Loser.
here. Which is definitely
Oh no, I'm gonna rust.
dampening, so to speak, his whole put together look. This does not look like a man who's having the best day he's ever had. But he
He
still
looks like a wet rat.
a little bit, yeah. He still kind of looks directly at you, and he says, "Still dealing with the effects of your magical curse, I see. If you'd... I could have removed you from that burden, made it so you didn't have to worry about uncontrolled magical effects, or lightning." As he says this, he sort of, like, looks around at the storm. Another bolt of lightning goes across the air.
Holy shit, Malachi, is Regin doing this? Is this him?
No, Finn. Reagan's got things under control now, remember?
in response to that, Regin just goes, "Don't worry, I got worse."
About what I expected. He then sort of, like, looks past you at Alden, who is now holding Nell, and at kind of the whole group of them, and goes, well, this has been fun, but I don't have time for this. And he raises his hand and brings it down, as there is an explosion of fire across the entire group of you. I need dexterity saving throws from everybody.
Even Regin?
Yes, because he, Fireball has a 20-foot radius, so he's going to kind of center it in between you.
Okay.
Everyone but Regin benefits from Malachi's aura. And actually, I need to know before I roll, Taylor. Are the Adventurer and Ben currently benefiting from your auras? Because I assume everyone else is. Okay, cool.
They are. I'm not limited to a number of people, right? It's anyone who I choose who's in there?
Anyone who you consider an ally, I believe is the wording of it.
Right.
Finn got a 17, Nurgle got a 21.
Right now, if they're on my side, they're on my side.
Cool.
With my dex modifier, I have a 10.
Yeah, don't worry about me not having Malachi's aura, because I rolled a natural 2.
Oh my god.
And all you did was spit in his face.
There is nothing else I can do.
You could be in my aura.
Nah.
Andy, is the 17 with Malachi's aura?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me roll for all of my little guys.
Can I say that Nurgle's, like, up above in the sky
Yes.
and therefore out of range?
I actually did mean to ask you if he was up in the sky during the positioning bit and forgot about it. So yes, he can be out of range.
Yeah. He's taken wing.
Okay. Finn, Alden, Ben, and the Adventurer save.
Aw, man.
Alden and Finn both only thanks to aura. The rest of you fail.
Awesome.
As this fireball explodes over all of you. However, all damage that everyone except for Regin, who is out of range, takes is going to be halved because of aura of warding, because this is most definitely spell damage. So,
You can't harm me with fire, I'm too inherently damp.
Fireball.
okay. Man, pretty good damage roll on my part. Sorry. Okay, so this fourth level, he's casting it at fourth level, this fourth level fireball explodes for a total of 35 damage, which gets halved. So, Regin, you take all of that.
No problem.
Oh, that's gonna dry out his skin something awful.
It's going to be really fun when we take down Retval and Regin misses the entire thing.
Malachi, Shiloh, and Nira take 17. But the people who passed and also are within Malachi's aura, so Finn, Alden, Ben, and the Adventurer, each only take 8 damage. However...
That means Ben...
this is enough to knock Ben out of snail form.
Even when he's, like, in my pocket, he still counts as a target?
He still counts as a target. Fireball spreads around corners.
So suddenly, Ben just appears inside Finn's clothes with him.
Yeah, so Ben just sort of comes, like, spilling out onto the ground.
If you tore my pocket, you're in big trouble, Ben. Also, hey, I think we're allies of convenience now, so...
Yeah, I could hear everything while I was a snail.
Wow, really?
Snails don't have ears.
You guys will also note that I didn't... say whether Nell had saved or failed. That's because you actually notice as, despite them being fully in the fireball aura, the fire of the spell curves around them. As you can see that Retval seems to have the ability to sort of shape his spells to not hit targets he doesn't want it to hit.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Retval looks, as the fire kind of clears and everyone is still on their feet, Retval looks genuinely angry. He clearly expected that to at least drop someone.
Malachi, standing sort of in the middle of the pack here, sort of looks down and around him and looks back at Retval and sort of starts to smile a little bit.
He, like, locks eyes with you and is just furious. But that is his turn. Yeah, I think he doesn't want to. This is where he's not going to move because Regin's right there, and was not knocked out by the fireball, so he doesn't want to deal with the opportunity attack, so he won't. Cool. Next up in initiative is Nell. They are still charmed, so you see them just sort of, they're going to try to break away from Alden, who, because he was not knocked unconscious, is still holding on to them. Man. That's another 16 for Alden and a 5 on the dice for Nell this time. So you see they're sort of like struggling, but Alden's a lot stronger, and there's also clearly some sort of battle going on here in Nell's own head where they're trying to pull away and like run toward Retval, but they also look like they're just falling, and Alden is sort of holding them up and just going, hey, you're not going anywhere, and yells over to you guys, break Retval's fucking concentration. So
Give me approximately 6 more people and I will.
that is
I'll
Finn.
try.
That's your turn.
All right. First, I run off to the side, put down my fish tank.
Yeah, miraculously, the water that the fish was in seems to have entirely protected it from the fireball.
And I telepath him, sit tight, buddy.
Ah!
And then I run back, and I Eldritch Blast Retval.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll each of those attack rolls separately because we have to deal with his mirror image.
His what? That's a 26 and an 18.
Okay, so the 26 was the first one. That targets one of his duplicates and hits the duplicate, so it's destroyed. The second...
Hold up, where are these duplicates?
So so this sort of, his shifting form, they're just sort of, like, next to him. There's these, three other copies of him that are basically all sort of, like, shifting around and moving. So it's making it difficult to get a lock on a real target. You destroy the first duplicate, and then we're going to see if you hit...
I killed Retval! Oh, wait.
Oh, but the second attack hits him for real, and an 18 will hit. So go ahead and roll your damage.
I spit on the real one, right?
Yes, you spit on the real one, don't worry.
Regin's spit does acid damage, destroys all the duplicates.
That's only 7 damage.
Okay, you do 7 damage to him. He will make a concentration save. Makes it.
Ugh.
Well, let's see how he concentrates when he's being menaced by a tentacle.
Okay.
I'm right here.
And I'm going to summon my tentacle right behind him.
Regin,
and
have you
just
developed a new...
smacks him.
Cool. Yes, go ahead and roll that.
25.
25. Unfortunately, you hit another duplicate, and clear that duplicate out. He only has 1 left now.
Nice.
That was a warning shot!
Anything else, Finn?
No.
And I guess, just so I know, are you ran to the side and set the fish tank down. Are you going to stay standing off to the side, or do you want to run back to the rest of the group?
I go back to be near Malachi.
Awesome.
You might consider running forward a little bit for when Malachi inevitably goes in.
That is Nira's turn. She is going to leave Malachi's aura, to, like, run off to the side and basically get around Retval, and she is just going to shout out over the ocean, Amelia, hold your ship! And you see, I'm gonna make a perception check to see if Amelia hears her over the kind of, like, wind and rain. Seems like no. So the ship is still sort of moving away from you guys. At the bottom of the round, it'll continue to get further away, which potentially could be a problem in the future, but is not maybe the main concern right now. And then Nira's going to go ahead and shoot Retval with her crossbow. Okay, first attack is a natural 2, so that will not hit. Second attack, though. Oh, that will definitely hit. Let me see if it hits Retval or the last duplicate. Okay, so that one will hit the last duplicate and dissipate it. So
cool.
Now there is just Retval.
He's uglier than I realized.
Next up is the adventurer. She is... Well, first of all, she kind of looks down at Ben, where he just kind of sprawled out on the ground, and then sort of, like, looks up at the three of you and kind of looks at Finn and is like,
Ta-da!
polymorph, I assume?
Who?
I'm not telling you, Jack!
He just liked being a snail.
She looks displeased, but she is actually going to reach over to Shiloh, who's sitting at a cool 7 hit points. And you see, as the adventurer puts her hand on Shiloh's shoulder, Shiloh looks immediately so much healthier, as Shiloh immediately regains 30 hit points.
Whoa!
Just this incredibly strong surge of healing goes through her.
How many of those do you have?
She sort of smiles and she goes, a few more. She's going to step a little bit to the left. She'll stay in your aura. So she kind of moves off to the side a bit, but is going to stay in your aura and is not going to get closer to Retval at this time. But she will, however, look at Retval and kind of say, you've already lost. It's over. Get out of here. I win this one. And Retval sort of like looks at her and says, I admit that I'd have preferred for my tower to remain intact rather than whatever's going to happen in a few seconds, but you've brought all of your forces here, leaving your own headquarters undefended, not to mention, what was the name of that village? Gillsbury? Looks right at you, Finn, clearly knows what he's saying.
Gillsbury's not undefended.
He looks at the box, which Malachi's still holding, and he says, I've already had a chance to get all of the data I needed. You're welcome to the item. As soon as my child and I leave, then we can be finished with our business here. That's the adventurer's turn. Ben is going to... The man was just a snail. He's going to stand up, first of all, move over near where the adventurer is. He's going to cast...
Return to snail.
He's going to cast Shatter on Retval. He can kind of aim it in a way that doesn't hit Regin. So, Retval's going to make a con save, I think. Ooh, fails. So Retval actually takes... Wow. Terrible damage roll.
Ugh.
I only rolled 8 on that damage. And then Retval actually, for some reason, seems to only take half of this. So he takes...
Shocking.
4 damage from that.
He's a paladin, too.
Cool. That's Ben's turn. He's actually going to go ahead and Bardic Regin. He's going to be like, hang in there, buddy. We're cool now, right?
Is this supposed to make me like you?
We seem to be on the same side.
Go crawl back into your left coiling shell, you fucking incel snail.
Okay, that feels... Honestly, you know what? I have to respect that. That was pretty good. You have a D8 of Bardic if you want it.
I do. I am taking it.
Cool.
I look closely at Ben and notice he still seems to have a thin film of mucus covering his body.
Yeah.
Did Retval roll his concentration save?
No, he didn't. You're so right. Thank you. Makes it. Natural 16.
Ugh. So he's bloodied.
He does not look bloodied. But he does. I will say, this is just a guy and a wizard. He does not look like he has that many hit points.
Yeah, he's a wimp.
But more than 11. Or more than 22, rather. Shiloh's going to try and firebolt, since there's no one who's in critical need of healing. But does not hit. Then, Malachi, that is you.
I was being serious about going forward to meet me here. I feel like casting a spell on this guy ain't the way to go. So, I'm gonna just run up and try and chop him up, I guess.
Cool, yeah.
As Malachi runs away, I turn to the adventurer. I'm like, do you have any auras?
Finn, I told you to meet me up there!
The adventurer's like, yeah, actually, my aura is indigo. That means that I'm trustworthy and insightful.
Shut up.
Because I'm so strong right now, I'm actually adding 10, so that's an 18 to hit on my first attack.
18 will hit, yeah. And he's got no more mirror image, so...
That's good. Yeah, I'll smite.
Okay.
That's 24 damage on the first hit.
Okay.
Do I need to tell you how much of that's radiant?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's reeling. That was a serious hit. Let me make a DC 12 con save. That is a natural 1. You slam your axe into him, and there is this explosion of radiant light that goes out from it. You see he staggers back, and you sort of, everyone can almost feel this, like, snap in the air. Nell, all of a sudden, all the tension, like, goes out of their body, and all of a sudden Alden is holding them up instead of holding them back. And he's just like, okay. And, yeah, Malachi, you have a second attack.
I sure do. Your child's not going with you. I go to hit him again.
Mm-hmm.
And another 18!
Still hits. Go ahead and do your damage.
Should I smite again?
What if you smite it again? That'd be crazy.
I think I will, you know?
Wow, as a treat.
Alright, yeah, so I'm gonna smite this guy again. 18 damage on that one?
Okay. Yeah, you deal 18 damage to him. He is not quite bloodied, but he is, like, reeling from these attacks. And you see he looks frustrated and also, mostly just frustrated, because it's not fear exactly. He still clearly feels like he's got this under control, but it is definitely surprise. Cool. That is the bottom of the round. At the bottom of the round, can I have someone roll a d4 for me, please?
Bottom of the round, I have a name.
3.
Okay. You hear the tower behind you kind of starting to shake as you can sort of hear the beginnings of the explosions.
Oh yeah, we should get away from the tower.
Inside of it. Additionally, you see Amelia's ship pull further away. It is now 350 feet from the shore. That will be back... Well, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Nurgle. Nurgle actually goes before initiative count 0. What would you like him to do?
I want him to prepare to give me advantage.
Cool. Nurgle kind of swoops down, give you advantage on Retval, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll sort of fly around Retval. Awesome. Regin, that is you.
I'm gonna cast Lightning Bolt on Retval.
Awesome. Yeah. You
There it is.
cast Lightning Bolt, you aim it so that it hits just him and not anyone else.
It also hits Nurgle.
Look out!
Dick, he is going to make a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
He does not get my aura.
I wouldn't have assumed. What's your DC, Reagan?
15.
Okay, he passes with a 16.
That's okay.
But that's okay, he's still gonna take half of this.
30, he takes 15.
He takes 15, and then he actually, again, has some sort of magic resistance that lets him take half of that again. But even just that 7 is enough to knock him to bloodied. You see him as you blast with this lightning that he sort of like just barely manages to dodge sideways out of the way of, is still kind of clipped by this lightning bolt, and you see him, his robes are sort of like smoking, his glasses are like slightly askew.
Just slightly.
Nerd.
Alden sort of sets Nell back on their feet and like squeezes their shoulders a little, and then is going to run up and attack. He hits on one of his 2 attacks, so he deals 4 damage, but he is going to go ahead and make that a, use Commander's Strike on that, and Regin, you can go ahead and use your reaction to make an attack if you would like.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out my Warhammer two-handed, and that is a dirty 20 to hit.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
Which will do shitty damage. It'll do 5.
Okay.
He's at 69 down.
Wow.
Yeah!
Nice.
Reagan's smoking slightly and like bleeding and just goes, nice.
That is Retval's turn. He sort of assesses the situation. Assesses that he now has Regin, Malachi, and Alden all right in melee with him, as well as these other people who have spread out and are firing arrows and bolts of magic at him.
Oh, to have Regin, Alden, and Malachi all within melee range of me.
Okay. And his charm effect is gone. So you see he sort of looks around and sort of draws himself up and, like, adjusts the lapels of his lab coat and...
Oh, if this bitch ditches.
Looks around at all of you and goes, another time, then. And he is just going to disappear.
Does the adventurer have counterspell?
No. As he just vanishes into...
Concept. This counts as leaving my threatened area, which makes me have an OA, does it not?
It doesn't. That is one of the shitty things about teleportation, is that you only get an OA on it, I think, if you have Mage Slayer.
Who's to say I don't?
I know what feat I'm taking when I level up.
I quickly telepath to the fish in the tank. Quick! Cast counterspell!
Yeah, and Retval is gone. We are going to go ahead and stay in initiative, though, because of the tower behind you.
Yeah.
Which is actively doing things.
Exploding.
So, Nell's up next. They're going to sort of, like, shake themselves out of it and sort of, like, look around at everyone and be like, thank you, we need to go. And they're going to start moving toward the shore. Although you can see, Malachi, as they sort of, like, move past you, they look at you and look at the device you're still holding and kind of, like, give you a nod. Like, hold on to that. And you see them sort of, like, shoot a glance kind of back at the adventurer and Ben, who are standing next to each other.
How big did you say it was again? Like a little box or a big box?
A shoebox.
It's like shoebox. I think it's like shoebox size. Yeah, like a winter boot shoebox. You know.
Okay, so I can't like stow it in my
no,
like
you can't,
whatever,
yeah,
but I can still hold it under an arm easily.
Yeah, you can still hold it and also be using your weapon. I'm not that concerned about tracking exactly what hands you're using, but
I put it between my knees.
Yeah, sure.
Classic Malachi move.
Exactly. Finn, that is your turn.
Yeah, I pick up my fish tank again. And I also run towards the shore.
Okay, so you move 60 feet, so you're now 90 feet from the shore.
All right, and now that I am that close to the shore, I'm going to send out a telepathic burst just being like, hey, who's around? Who's nearby? Sebastian, you there?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a d20 for me, Andy.
5.
Okay, some fish are like, hey, there's a lot of shaking happening.
Yeah, if you are not a fan of debris, then I would advise avoiding this island.
Whoa, okay.
But also...
What about the ones that love debris?
Yeah, if you love debris, then this is the place for you, baby. And while you're swimming away, if you see anyone big who could maybe carry me and my friends, send them my way.
Okay.
Sebastian.
Still no sign of Sebastian in the immediate vicinity. Sick. That was Finn's turn. Nira is also going to start running. She's going to shout again. And this time you see the ship kind of stop moving 350 feet out and seems to be sort of waiting for you guys. Cool. That is the adventurer. She is also going to start running toward you guys. And as she sort of like runs toward you, she goes, okay, yeah, let's get out of here and then regroup. Malachi, will you give me that? And she holds out her hands, expecting you to give her the box.
Absolutely not. Not until we're on the ship. You're not touching this.
We don't have time for this.
Then go!
You see her eyes narrow. And Malachi...
My grip on my axe tightens.
Mm-hmm. In this moment, you see a sort of like spark of something in her eyes. A sort of like faint golden glow. And she says... One more time. We don't have time to argue. Hand me the box.
My grip on my fish tank tightens.
You're not touching this until we're all off this island safely.
Unfortunate. All right, then.
I'll be happy to let you take a look once we're on the ship.
She draws her sword. You see what kind of was a... You have never seen this woman draw her sword before. And what looked as it was kind of at the scabbard on her side, like a rapier, similar to the one that Nira wields, as she draws it, it turns into this massive greatsword with a golden blade that seems to glow from nothing with this sort of celestial light, and she swings it directly at you, Malachi.
I'm your employee.
That is a 29 to hit.
Well, I have a 12 AC right now.
You take...
Whoa.
This is really spoiling my plans to get out of here, you bitch. He wouldn't call her a bitch, probably, would he?
Too much respect.
Well, not for her.
Well, we'll see. Well, let me see if you stand by that after the numbers I'm about to say. 21 slashing damage, and then an additional 25 radiant damage.
Fuck, I'm down.
That is not halved by your aura, as this great sword with absolutely a force like nothing you felt before just knocks you to the ground. Malachi goes down.
Who the fuck is this bitch?
The adventurer just kind of scoops up the box.
Can I say that I had taken out my holy symbol, by the way?
Yes. This is maybe part of the reason. But yes, you right before you went into the Divine Smite, you popped your holy symbol out and have that in your hand. And she shows no interest in taking that. She just takes the box and...
Oh, come on!
Holds it and sort of... You guys can all see from her stance that she has a second attack, but she is going to forgo her second attack and instead simply step back away with the box and kind of gesture to the rest of you, like, go on.
Go on and what exactly?
Get away from the exploding tower.
Is she just sticking around?
She is actually going to step back toward where Ben is.
What the fuck?
Closer to the tower.
That dude was a fucking snail. He's still your right hand?
No, Ben. You just saw her cut me down.
Ben doesn't especially seem to care. He kind of like looks...
Shut up, Hannah.
Sorry. You're right. You're unconscious. You don't have to see that he doesn't care. She steps back toward Ben. That is Ben's turn. He is going to hold an action. Yeah, you see him just sort of like stand next to the adventurer and sort of like smiles and holds an action. Shiloh is she's going to come and cure wounds Malachi.
Thank you.
Using one of the last spell slots she has left, she can barely give you any hit points, but she's going to run and cure wounds you. You regain 6 hit points from her cure wounds, and as you come to consciousness, she's going to be like, okay, I knew something was going on, but I didn't expect that.
I literally said I would give her the box on the ship.
Do we run, or should we keep running?
It's not worth it. We need to get off the island.
Okay. She nods, and she will go ahead and use her movement to get further away. So she is now, like, 100 feet from the water's edge. That will be Malachi. That's you.
How far away from us and the shore and everything is the adventurer?
So the adventurer right now, she basically went back to where you guys started. So she is 25 feet from you and 150 feet from the shore.
Okay. She's like not going anywhere? She's just standing there with Ben?
She ran closer to the about to explode tower and is just standing there.
What's your game here?
She smiles and she says, glad you asked. I was talking to you about power, about the things that are needed in order to gain the type of power that is needed to keep this scourge of this empire, she gestures out to the fleet of ships, from dominating the entire ocean. The sort of power that I need comes from the sources of magic that are out there in the world, and it comes from belief. Thank you, all of you, addressing kind of the full group, Nira, Alden, Nell, Shiloh, and the 3 of you. Thank you for all of your help so far. Know that I truly appreciate it, and that I would love to continue to consider you allies. But unfortunately, for what comes next, I need those who I can completely trust, and those who are willing to trust me. So,
how are we supposed to trust you after this?
Look at him, he's still kind of slimy.
She looks at Ben, and then she says, well, you see, Godhood comes both through raw power and through what people say about your power. The narrative of it. And
Oh, what the hell do you know about godhood?
quite a bit, I would say.
She said, swilling oxygen.
Andy, I hate to tell you this, but you're never gonna guess what things that live underwater breathe too.
Listen, Finn doesn't know about science. He doesn't understand that.
She looks at the group of you and behind her at the tower and over at the fleet, and she says, after all this, if there's one thing I have, it's the world's attention. Malachi, it's your turn.
How do they know it's you?
They will.
Are you catching a ship?
You'll see. You'll see when it's her turn.
I'm sure we will. Hannah, I'm really strong right now. Can I grab both Regin and Alden?
What's your strength?
23. I can carry 345 pounds.
Yes. Especially because Regin doesn't wear armor and Alden doesn't have, like, plate or anything like that. I will say, yeah, you can scoop both of them up.
All right.
Why am I being carried?
Just because they're at the top of the round and I know that the tower stuff was happening at the bottom of the round, I'm going to grab both of them and book it for the shore.
Cool. You grab both of them and you start to run backward toward the shore.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Put me the fuck down!
We gotta go.
I am not baggage!
That
Well,
But he's got plenty.
not physically.
that is Nurgle's turn.
He pecks out her eyes.
Oh. I tell Nurgle to go fly to Amelia's ship.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Nurgle sort of like, looks down at you, looks at the tower, looks concerned, and then just starts to fly toward Amelia's ship.
Just let her know the score. However you can.
Cool. That is bottom of the round. Can I have somebody roll me a d4?
2.
Okay. You hear a bang from inside of the tower. I need actually nobody because you scooped them up. So just the adventurer and Ben are going to make this con save.
I'd like to impose dis by making rude gestures towards them.
Cool. They don't need it. They actually both failed. So they take.
Good.
They're going to take a small amount of.
What's the matter, Ben? Still feeling kind of slow?
Okay. Admittedly, being a snail sucked. I'll say it. It sucked.
Alright, so that's one of you can be honest.
They take a small amount of thunder damage, 12 to be specific, which is not enough to knock either of them out. As there is like this
Should have let them get hit by the fireball.
this concussive blast from the tower, and you get the sense that this is your 1 round warning. It is essentially going to explode at the bottom of the next round. You kind of don't have any information on exactly what the radius of that is, but you get the sense that like the closer to it you are, probably the worse. That is back to Regin at the top of the round.
Top of the round, I let Regin and Alden get to their feet
Cool.
once I've gotten them away from the immediate
Yeah.
vicinity.
Yeah, it's good. If Alden had failed that save, he would have been knocked out, which would have posed some real problems. So good call on scooping him.
So there's just really not much to do here.
No, we gotta run. Unless you have like some bonus action spell that you can cast and still dash.
I do not.
Well, you can quicken something.
Maybe you could take Ben out.
Ben does not look great. He's kind of like shaken.
Alright, you know what? I'll burn 2 sorcery points to quicken shatter
Okay.
on both of them, centered on both of them.
Okay. I will make Constitution saves. And I'll do the one that matters less first. So the adventurer gets a 21.
That's
And
Jesus.
Ben fails. That's a natural 3.
Yeah!
Go ahead and roll your damage.
18.
Oh my god. Yeah, absolutely unconscious. Regin, as you start to run, you just sort of like fling over your shoulder this concussive blast, this mini thunderclap in the middle of the storm that's still raging around you. And you see the adventurer kind of like take a slight stagger as she takes the 9 damage from it, and you see Ben drop to the ground unconscious.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah, you thought you were slick using that one earlier. That's my fucking spell, bitch.
He can't hear you because he's unconscious,
But she can.
Alden is like, nice one.
Some things are just for me.
Alden will dash toward the shore. At this point,
Actually, who's to say I wasn't doing lethal damage?
huh?
Well, he still has to make saves, right?
Yeah, so he's down and making death saves.
I would like him to be making death
Yes,
saves.
he is. Don't worry.
Good.
Cool.
She casts polymorph on Ben, turns him into a snail, sticks him in her pocket, and ditches.
Alden full dashes. Nell is also going to full dash. They can actually triple dash, being a rogue and all that. So they're at the water's edge, and they're going to start kind of like moving into the water.
So I moved 45. Reagan can move 70.
Oh yeah, Reagan can't move 70. So Reagan is like very close to the edge of the water. Alden is a little bit behind him, but still, you guys are all considered at the edge. Finn, that is you.
Who has the carpet?
I think Nira does.
That would make sense. She's kind of been tasked with carrying a lot of stuff.
Okay. I'm going to send out another telepathic burst, checking for Sebastian or anyone else.
Yeah, roll a d20.
13.
Cool. On a 13, as you like get closer to the water shore, you send out another telepathic burst, and you're like, Sebastian! You hear, "Hey, Finn, that was fun. I ate some guys."
Oh, congratulations!
Thanks.
How do you feel about people riding you?
I can hold you in my coils.
Ooh.
I'm confused about the logistics of that.
It's probably faster than swimming.
He's shaped like a slinky. What's confusing?
Then I just sort of through the water and pull you with me.
You guys hang on.
Okay, yeah, sure. I trust you.
Do you want... Sure, I can come pick you up?
Yeah, would love a pickup.
Sure.
Thank you.
We're breaking all the rules of syllabant S's on this show.
Sebastian shimmies closer to the shore and is ready to kind of pick you guys up once you're in the water and get you to Amelia's ship a bit faster.
All right. And then how far am I from the water's edge?
You're 90 feet from the water's edge.
No, it's not worth attacking. Yeah, I'm just going to dash towards the water.
Cool, you dash toward the water. Nira is also going to dash towards the water, and she'll yell over to you, Finn, who's closest to her, like, "Do we need this carpet?"
Couldn't hurt.
Great, okay.
I have a ride coming, but I'm not sure if it requires being able to breathe underwater or not.
I'd rather not deal with that. She will, it's an action to activate the flying carpet, but she will go ahead and do that. She actually, as she kind of like starts to take the carpet out, she's like, "I don't know the fucking command word for this thing. I'd need time." And Nell yells back, "It's just fly. He's not very creative." And this carpet has a flying speed of 60 feet, which is faster than you guys.
Wow.
So
That's very fast.
she unfurls the carpet and will just kind of hop on it and move. And she's
Waiting to
actually
taxi us away.
going to pick up Shiloh because Shiloh's speed is lower than everyone else's. So Nira will use... She's going to sort of like slow so that Shiloh will be able to get on. Cool. That is now the adventurer's turn. She looks down at Ben next to her and it sort of like clicks her teeth and she's like, "It's a shame. He deserved to be awake for this." And looks back over at the rest of you who are now kind of well spread out from her. You're sort of seeing her from a distance through the rain and the lightning, and yet somehow you can still like see her form very clearly. Her like this cloak she always wears sort of billowing in the wind behind you, this massive golden greatsword still in her hand that she's holding like effortlessly, her silver hair sort of like fanning out, and you see that she's taking on this almost otherworldly glow. And she looks back at all the rest of you and she says, "Well, when our paths cross again, I do hope we'll be on the same side. But we'll see." And you watch as from behind her unfurl these two massive wings. these wings that do not look like they should be able to hold up a creature, as they are these clockwork wings. You can see intricate, like, gears turning, feathers of brass and bronze and gold that catch the light from the lightning sort of glinting off of them. All of this intricate machinery that you can see working within the wings. And she just, like, grabs Ben with her free hand and just flaps once and begins to rise into the air. And as she does that, your eyes are sort of on her, but she starts to fly over you guys, kind of taking an arc away from the tower. And as your eyes sort of automatically follow her figure, you see out over the ocean the ship that is the adventurer's ship also begins to rise. Up out of the water, the sort of like ocean below it, like water falling down as it's sort of sucked up under the motion of this ship. The sails all sort of shift in position as they get ready to catch the wind from below as well as from the sides as this airship rises, and the adventurer carrying Ben flies away from the tower and out to meet it. That is her turn. Ben is still unconscious and will make a death save.
Manifesting.
God, I knew she was untrustworthy, but I didn't realize she was that depraved enough to take a ship out of the ocean.
That was either a nat 20 or a nat 1.
Guys, I have great news for fans of Ben. He just crit on his death save.
Fuck!
So he actually, you see him, like, regain some semblance of consciousness. Maybe the
Ben.
funniest possible time to crit on a death save.
Wakes up clutched beneath these gigantic...
Pour some salt on him!
I wonder if he's seen them before, or if this is, like, immensely startling to him.
Yeah, I don't think you're all kind of too far away to really see, but he definitely looks somewhat startled as he comes to consciousness here.
I wanted to kill him.
You still have time. Shiloh is going to run and then get on the flying carpet. Malachi?
I will try and catch up to everybody.
Cool, you catch up to everybody. Nurgle continues to fly toward Amelia's ship. At the end of the round, I need,
Actually.
Yes.
When all of this happens, I give Nurgle new orders.
Ooh.
And I tell him, time seems to slow down as I think across the waves to Nurgle. Listen, Nurgle, I'm giving you a very important mission. It might be dangerous, and if anything happens to you, I am so sorry. But I need you to follow that weird abomination of an airship, and I'll resummon you in a few days. Let me know where they've gone.
Yeah.
I'll miss you.
You hear in that single caw that he also will miss you, but that he takes this mission very seriously.
Godspeed.
Andy, go ahead and roll me a stealth check for him. You have advantage, and I'll tell you the DC is low because no one is paying attention to Nurgle, and there's a thunderstorm.
19.
Yeah.
Cool. Nurgle sort of blends in amongst the clouds and the driving rain, and you all sort of lose sight of him, but Finn, from your bond, you can tell that he is following at a safe distance as the airship is taking off.
There goes the bravest gull I ever knew.
There goes my hero.
Cool. At the bottom of the round, I need dexterity saving throws from everyone. I actually think you all ended up in similar enough of a position that you're still in Malachi's aura. Is anyone, like, notably ahead of you?
I think, obviously, Nell is.
Yeah.
But everyone else should be in range because I'm only 10 feet slower than Regin.
Yes, I think that's right. Nell is ahead, and then Nira actually stopped to wait for Shiloh, so she is a little bit further behind than she would be and is within this.
Yeah.
So, I need dexterity saving throws from everyone. You get Malachi's aura.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
I got a 17.
Wow.
Nat 1, that comes to a 7.
Oh my god, Nani. You do still have a bardic from Ben if you want to use it.
Oh, true.
It still applies.
Yeah, oh my god.
This would be a good time to use that, probably. 11.
Okay, cool. 11 does not help, unfortunately.
Nah.
The inspiration is ashes in your mouth.
His ass is in my mouth.
Regin, we told you to stop biting.
Cool. All of your NPCs pass, Nira and Alden both, thanks to Aura. So, not a great roll that time, damage-wise for me. I do still think this might knock Regin out, though. 15 fire damage to anyone who failed. So, 15 fire damage to Regin specifically, 7 to everybody else. Aura of Warding does not help with this. Much like the explosion in the square, this fire damage is non-magical.
Okay, I'm also down.
Okay.
And thus, with a feral and animalistic scream, I die.
Regin and Malachi both drop.
Oh, jeez.
Regin and Malachi both drop.
Not again.
We drape sexily across each other's torsos.
The tower is still exploding. You get the sense that if you guys can get into or over the water, you'll be a lot safer from this, but it is still, like, exploding. That was just sort of the first volley of debris. At the top of the round, Regin, give me a death save.
Yay! 12.
12, a success.
I'm alive,
Yay.
I'm so alive.
That's Alden, who doesn't have healing.
Is he at least, like, holding my face and whispering, wake up?
Yeah, I mean, he was right next to Malachi and only, like, a little bit behind you, so he sees Malachi drop,
It'd be really funny if he cradles Malachi's face instead.
yeah, let me think about this.
What do you mean, let you think about this? He's my boyfriend.
No. Not thinking about the cradling the face. I'm thinking about the action economy.
He's nobody's boyfriend. He's our ally.
He's wearing my shirt. That makes us boyfriends.
He's going to get on the magic carpet, and he's going to use his action to, like, grapple Regin and drag him onto the magic carpet. So that Regin is now on the magic carpet instead of lying on the ground.
Hey, how many people can this thing hold?
It can hold, not quite all of you, it can hold 4 people. So currently everyone who can be on it is on it, although some of them might choose to get off.
Okay.
Cool. Nell is just going to go in the water so that we've got someone who's safe and out of the equation, and is sort of waiting for you guys, like, right outside. Actually, they, like, go into the ocean and then they pop their head up and they're like, Finn, do you know this giant fucking snake?
Yeah, don't worry. He might wrap you in his coils, but that's supposed to happen.
Okay, sure, I guess. I'll just go with it. Whatever.
I give them a thumbs up.
This is not the weirdest thing that's happened to Nell all day.
Exactly. Finn, that is your turn.
Okay. I telepath to my fish in the tank. Hey, are you freshwater or saltwater?
I've only ever been in salt water. I don't know if I'd enjoy fresh water.
Time seems to slow down as I telepath to this fish in the tank. I'll never forget you, and I hope our paths cross again someday.
What?
And then with a mighty heave, I toss him into the ocean.
You do that, you hear, like, he lands and he goes, this is so much water. This is more water than I ever imagined.
Oh.
Bye!
I know. It's beautiful, isn't it? Goodbye!
It's really beautiful. He
Wow.
swims away.
He swims away to eat all the other nearby fish.
Yeah.
He deserves
Yeah,
it.
Finn, you do hear a bunch of the other, like, small fish go, ah! This big carnivorous one gets tossed.
The circle of life.
Oh, Finn, you never asked him if he loved debris or hated it.
I hate debris.
Now that I have my hands free, so it's only me and Malachi, who are both on land and not on the carpet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go over to Malachi, and I got some mixed berries.
Cool.
I take a handful and stuff them in his mouth.
Okay, how many is a handful?
Oh dear.
4.
Okay.
Malachi's gonna turn pink and grow a tail.
Roll me 4d20.
So that's a 5,
Okay.
a 6, a 6, and a nat 20.
What has he done to my corpse?
Okay. So, the 5, I'm going to assume you stuffed them all in there at once.
Yup.
So, each of the ones that are below 10 are minus 1 hit point. But the nat 20 is plus 7 hit points. So, at the end of this, Malachi, you take a bunch of sensations at once and end up with 4 hit points.
Yeah!
Wow. What the fuck did you just do to me?
A culinary experience that will never be repeated.
Thanks, Finn.
Malachi experiences the ratatouille sequence when he eats the cheese and the strawberry together.
Except for at first, it's really, really spicy.
Cool. And then Andy, you still have your movement if you'd like to.
Yeah. Malachi, you can swim, right?
I don't have my armor on.
Okay, I hope you like coils.
Okay, I won't be able to breathe.
And I cast Dimension Door and wait a second.
Uh-huh.
How far away is the ship?
Yeah, you can get all the way to Amelia's ship with Dimension Door. It's 350 feet out from the shore, and you're 30 feet out, so that's 380 feet.
Huh. Okay, so I look around and I'm like, okay, everything actually seems like we've got all our escape routes covered.
Yeah, Nira's like, go, go!
I telepath to Sebastian, remember, they're not for eating.
It's fine.
Just follow the magic carpet, take this one back to our ship, and I'll be very grateful. And then I cast Dimension Door and teleport myself and Malachi onto Amelia's ship.
Awesome. You teleport, you land directly in the middle of Amelia's ship. Everyone there is kind of like, most people actually are watching the sky, which I will describe in a moment.
And then, as we materialize on the ship, I look around, nod at Amelia, and run off the edge of the ship and jump into the water and start swimming back towards the island.
Okay, cool.
Just in case.
Nice. Yeah, so true. You jump into the water and start swimming back toward the island.
Finn!
What?
Hurry up!
I'm fine!
That is Nira's turn. She will just kind of gun it with the carpet. She has a conscious Shiloh and a conscious Alden and an unconscious Regin. And she will just use her action to kind of like take over driving the carpet and get over the water, basically. So they're now, all of them, 90 feet from the shore. Cool. And then on her turn, Shiloh will use her last spell slot, Regin, to cure wounds you. So you regain 6 hit points as she cure wounds you. And then at the bottom of the round there is another explosion, but the people who are underwater are fine. And then 90 feet out for being above water was the distance that you had to be in order to not take any damage from it. So
Nice.
there is another kind of like massive concussive blast that goes out. The whole carpet, those of you who are on the carpet, so just Regin really, feel it like, it's like getting hit with a blast of air in your back, but you don't take any damage from it as it kind of like propels you forward a little bit. And you sort of look back and you can see this entire tower is collapsing in on itself in a explosion of fire and stone. The storm is still raging overhead. Lightning and thunder going through the air as the tower is collapsing, and as the adventurer kind of still up on her airship is this glowing figure. You see her sort of like drop Ben off on the airship, and then she takes off again and basically just like does like a loop with her like cloak flying behind her, just sort of making sure that everyone can see her. And then she sort of like looks down at not addressing any of you, not addressing the other AAA ships. She looks directly down at the fleet of Lithiosian ships that were arriving, and she points down at the tower and she says, "This is what will happen to all of the structures of the Empire." And she gets on her airship, and it, with a speed that outpaces any sea vehicle, begins to disappear into the clouds. The rest of you sort of catch up. Your carpet kind of catches up first. Finn, you sort of surface and can see that everything is going down the way it's going down. You all make it to Amelia's ship. She, throws down a ladder for you.
I want to go swim to Sebastian and Nell
Yeah.
and get in one of the coils because I want to try it out. I want to
Yeah.
see how it is.
You see, Sebastian essentially makes this little, coily shape, and it, has Nell sort of, half sitting in one coil. And they can't breathe underwater. They're just holding their breath. And he takes you kind of in the other one, Finn, and then is moving through the water, still the way a sea snake does. So you're, getting, shaken back and forth. It's really not a good motion of movement at all. But it's, sort of thrilling, like a really...
Luckily, you don't get seasick.
Like a water slide.
Yeah, Finn's immune to being seasick.
It's true. And so first the carpet and then the sea snake arrive at Amelia's ship.
And we board the ship to see that Malachi has been murdered by Amelia.
Oh, God. Malachi took a single hail ball to the head and is down again.
Cool. So, you guys get to Amelia's ship. Malachi, you're the first one there. You kind of, as you're alone on this,
Finn drops
where you
me
got
off.
dropped off by Finn, who immediately then jumped into the water.
Bye, have fun, make good choices.
You're still
Malachi has just woken up from having berries shoved in his mouth, being pulled through the dimensions to reappear on a ship.
Yeah, you have this, massive wound in you from where you got completely stabbed with this greatsword, and it did that, radiant damage almost, cauterizes the wound as it stabs
that's
you. But you very much, that is more damage than you've taken in one hit, maybe ever.
I think so.
So you're still sort of lightheaded from that. But you can see as you're sort of looking around at your surroundings, and the rest of you as you arrive see the same thing, that Amelia's ship has definitely taken some damage. You can see the kind of marks of cannon fire along the sides that were coming from the tower before Finn was able to get the cannons shut off. And then also you guys would have noticed as you were sort of running through the first couple floors that some of the guards and stuff who were here had those portable cannons that you saw in Retval's artillery and seemed to have been defending the island with those as well.
Yeah.
But Amelia's ship is clearly still saleable, and it looks like most of her men are some of them are injured, but they're mostly at the riggings and stuff where they're supposed to be. Amelia waits and doesn't really say anything to you. The flying carpet is able to just kind of hover up and get you guys on board. A rope ladder is kind of tossed down to Finn and Nell, and basically as soon as you guys have hold of the rope ladder, Amelia gives command to go.
Yeah.
Because you see that in the absence of the adventurer, the Lithiosian fleet is making a beeline right for the fleeing AAA ships. Amelia's and the other kind of three that were other allies of AAA are all starting to move away from the island, and you can see as Amelia's shouting these orders that they're scattering. All of the ships are going in different directions, and Amelia just kind of she's set our course as far away from here as we can get, which basically ends up being deeper into the Sea of Storms. You see sort of setting a directly eastward course deeper into the Sea of Storms because the Navy's not really going to want to follow that far. After kind of this has happened, the rest of you sort of collect yourselves on the deck mid this happening. Nell, as they haul themselves up onto the ship, does throw up into the ocean and then looks at you, Finn, and is that was awful.
Oh, sorry, would you rather I left you on the island?
I mean, thank you, but I feel like
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sebastian, they say thank you.
They're welcome.
Sebastian says you're welcome.
Hey, Sphinx.
Yeah?
Where should I go?
Ah, boy, that's a big question in life, isn't it? Well, a few things, and time seems to slow down as I telepath to Sebastian. I'm not honestly sure where I'm going right now. I would love to have you just stick with us. You know, if you want to follow this ship, stick around, hang out, that would be amazing. I don't know if I can promise you any more people to eat, though.
Sad. I'll stick around for a bit, but ships tend to be fast. I think I may need to swim.
Hey, Amelia, do we have an empty room on this ship?
That we can fill with water.
She's like in the middle of shouting commands to her crew, and she's like, no!
Oh. All right.
I'll see you again soon, I'm sure.
I hope so.
The ocean is not that big.
Thanks for all your help. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You're forever in the good graces of the Lurker.
Thank goodness. That goes a long way down here.
I'll bet.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And you sort of feel as the ship pulls away that he sort of slows down and then sort of dives deeper into...
I mean, he did say he would stick around for a bit.
That's true. He keeps up for a while. You can telepath to him to see if he's still there. Cool. Shiloh is sort of like assessing that everyone's okay. Not that she has any magic left to do anything about it if they're not.
Oh, but also, Sebastian?
Yes?
I don't want you to get into anything over your head, but you see that fleet of ships following us? You can eat any of those guys if you want.
Ooh. Maybe I will go see if I get lucky.
Nice.
Yeah, he will go back there.
We're all rooting for you.
Andy, go ahead and roll me, we're gonna roll an intimidation check using Sebastian's stats. Unfortunately, he has a -4 to it. But I'll give you an advantage for the fact that he's a giant sea snake.
That's an 11.
Okay. You see, Sebastian, you can sort of dimly, Finn, kind of squinting your eyes as he goes toward this fleet that is still pretty far away from you. The sea snake sort of like rears up out of the ocean, and it's definitely causing a distraction, if nothing else, as he sort of has no way to get to anyone who's on the ships, but is definitely looking like a sea monster. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Finn salutes.
Shiloh sort of makes sure that everybody is okay. Everyone's conscious and standing, which is passing for okay in this situation.
Yeah, as soon as the flying carpet lands and everyone, Malachi sort of gets to his feet and sort of like places a hand over his like cauterized wound and sort of walks over, and I would like to cure wounds Alden.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Alden, that is only 5.
Okay, cool. More than doubles what he had, so...
Wow, he was that low.
Uh-huh.
Damn. Oof. He may also have 2 lay on hands points.
Double digits, baby.
Yeah. And I will give Regin 10 lay on hands points as well.
Thanks, matey.
And then I will use 7 of the remaining 8 on myself, leaving myself 1 just in case something insane happens.
Just in case. Always good to have one just in case.
While all this healing is going on, I whisper to, I guess, everybody, can we trust Amelia? Is she cool?
Nira kind of looks over at her and then is like, well, I mean, I don't know where you're at with the trusting me, but I trust her. And also, I don't know if we really have much of a choice right now.
Yeah. I don't really trust you much, Nira, but I mistrust you in the opposite direction of the adventurer, so that works for me.
Yeah, sort of a enemy of my enemy sort of thing, apparently. You see, at this point, the course has been set enough that Amelia sort of like comes down the stairs from where she was, like, up at the wheel, and walks up to Nira. Kind of, like, directly up. I mean, she's her sort of, like, war-forged countenance. She looks like she took a couple blows in this battle, but she's very, like, she just, like, walks directly up to Nira and stands, like, really close to her. And Nira's just like, hey, been a while.
Ben! I get ready to Eldritch Blast.
Ben is their bestie. I can't believe he betrayed them.
And Nira's like, and Amelia's like, I would like to hear what happened when there's time. But until then, she looks around at the rest of you and she's like, you're welcome on my ship. I'll make sure you stay safe while you're here. And I can try to get you to wherever you need to go next. The storm clears a bit as you pull further away from the island. The sailors navigate your way through it, using the cover of the storm to break the kind of way that the fleet is following. Let me just roll to make sure that the ship doesn't take any... Cool. Yeah, the Salty Shark is able to use the cover of the storm to pull away from the fleet. You guys do hear at kind of like various points behind you, cannon fire, as it seems like maybe one of the other ships that was getting away might not have gotten away quite as cleanly, but there's pretty clearly nothing you can do if they didn't. The storm starts to lessen a bit, becomes of more just rain and the occasional lightning bolt arcing across the sky.
Pathetic.
As you are all kind of left sitting on the deck, shell-shocked.
Yeah.
You know who else was shell-shocked? Ben. Guys, Retval, he made some sort of veiled, honestly, not very veiled, threats to HQ and to Gillsbury. What do we do about that?
Anyone else feel like that whole thing was a bit, like, anticlimactic?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Malachi sort of shakes himself out of, like, his, like, sort of shocked silence he's been sitting in. Does he know where HQ is?
I don't know. That could have been a bluff, but he definitely knows where Gillsbury is.
Yeah, no.
I mean...
That's a fuck... I hate it here. Can I just say that? I hate everything that has... Oh, my God. Stop. I want to drop out. I want to drop out of whatever is happening. I'd like to retire.
Amelia, where are we sailing to?
Amelia looks over her shoulder and she's like, right now we're sailing deeper into the Sea of Storms to make sure that fleet's not following us.
Oh, great. Well, we might as well just handcuff me now then, huh?
After that, we can turn and go wherever would be smartest. As you guys are talking, Nell and Alden and Shiloh all kind of sat down next to each other, like against the rail of the ship, and are just kind of like leaning there. Nell goes, my father doesn't know where HQ is, or at least he didn't. And Alden goes, he didn't get it from us. Nell goes, yeah, he didn't sound to me like he knew where it was, but I don't know what kind of information the adventurer may have passed him. She clearly is done with AAA. She's moved on to better things or whatever she was shouting down at us. So it wouldn't surprise me if she dropped the wards or left it vulnerable in some other way.
Finn, we should... Do you have a way of contacting Baleen?
No. I mean, if Father Ceviche sendings me, then I could tell him to talk to Baleen the next day, but that's not very efficient. Can anyone on this ship cast sending?
It's a great question. Roll a d20 for me.
15.
Cool. On a 15 or above, there actually is one of the sailors looks over his shoulder and is like, yeah, I can. He sort of comes over and Amelia introduces him as Marco, who is a cleric, who has sending.
Is he hot?
Yeah, he's got this kind of like sea-weathered,
yeah.
He's a,
I love making Hannah make up hot guys.
I know. What else can I do?
Friendship ended with Ben. Marco is my new best friend. Hey, do you think Quarian was on her side, or?
Shiloh will actually say, Quarian's group were on, I think they were on
The airship?
I don't think they were on the airship, but I don't know. I was with Finn. I don't know where everyone kind of ended up. I'm going to say this Marco is also a half-elf.
Wow.
This half-elf with kind of like
Uncle?
sea-weathered skin and a sort of stormy look in his eyes.
Yeah.
It's useful to have a couple of like sea-inclined spellcasters on a ship.
Yeah.
And so he does have access to sending, but unfortunately he's not familiar with Baleen. He's like,
You didn't meet her? She was on the island for like a week?
He's an Amelia's
yeah, I was
ship.
mostly here.
Oh, right. You're not from AAA.
Yeah.
Who do you know who is there?
There's a couple people that I talked to. I had to get my armor fixed, and so while we were there, I went down to the workshop, and some of you would know some of the artificers were like left behind as sort of like home guard back at HQ. He's like, I could sending one of them.
Yeah, let them know that HQ is probably not safe anymore.
Okay. Should we tell them to get off the island?
I think that would be prudent.
Should we send them somewhere specific?
Yeah. Do we want a rendezvous point?
Well, we don't know where we're going, do we?
Wait, what if two birds with one stone send them to Gillsbury to defend Gillsbury against any attack that comes there?
Not a bad idea.
That is just putting them back into danger.
I mean, yes. But then I don't want to bring any more heat down on Gillsbury.
No.
I don't know. We don't have any place that we know is safe to go.
Just have them sending back where they're heading.
I think I know a place that's safe to go.
What place, Regin?
Yeah, Regin, as you say this, everyone kind of like looks at you, and Alden's like, want to share?
We could go home. We could go to Erebor.
Shiloh nods, and she's like, yeah, we have allies in Erebor. The military presence...
Are they our allies, or are they the adventurers?
That's the question, first of all, but probably ours, at least in some way. My bigger concern would be that the military presence up there is higher, but if we can get around it, if we're just one ship, or maybe two, that's not the worst idea.
Screw allies. Don't you got any, like, cousins?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, there's always that, too, if we're very sure we're not being followed, which I'm not, but yeah, it's somewhere.
They've got defenses.
Hey, Finn.
Yeah?
Now that we are out of the belly of the beast, what did you do with my mothers?
Oh, yeah, they're at HQ.
Mm.
Oh, and also so is Matt Black. Baleen has him.
Oh. Well, I guess at least they have a way out.
Yeah. And plenty of hors d'oeuvres.
Finn, it is at this point that you receive a sending.
Woo!
You hear in your head from Father Ceviche. It's been like 20 to 30 minutes since the tower exploded. You hear Father Ceviche, who sounds tired, says, remaining ships fired a volley of cannons and then left. No one killed, many injured, including your father. Many boats destroyed. Are you safe, Baleen?
How many words is that?
I clench my fist and my eye twitches a little bit as I respond. We're both safe, but separated. I can't get to Gillsbury immediately, but I'll try to send help. I suspect Gillsbury in further danger. Finn.
You guys see Finn sort of get the characteristic, at this point, too familiar, far away look in his eyes as he responds to Father Ceviche.
Finn, are they safe?
I don't know. The ships fired on Gillsbury. My dad's hurt, but then the ships left. I don't know if that means they're done. That was just a parting shot, or if they're just clearing the way for something worse.
Feel like if they wanted to take Gillsbury, they could with just that fleet.
Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't like the way Retval was talking about it.
Well, we need to get away from here first, and I think we'll have to figure out where to go from there, because we can't sail back to Gillsbury right now.
All right.
But if the ships are gone...
Alden says, if the ships are gone, it might be a good sign. They might be, the immediate threat is pulled back at least, which is something.
How many people are in Gillsbury?
Like 100, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, that's I don't know how long the ships will be gone, but that might be, like, a possibility of evacuation. I mean, they only have little fishing boats, but if they were able to meet up with somebody else...
I don't know if they'd be willing to leave.
Yeah.
I just put a reassuring and slightly charred hand on Finn's back.
So dry.
I got lit on fire multiple times. Stop bitching.
The group that is sort of gathered in the middle of the deck at this point sort of looks around at each other. Marco goes, okay, so I'm going to send to my friend at HQ and tell them to get away from HQ and head to Erebrer?
Hannah, how far from HQ is Gillsbury?
It was like 5 days or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like about five or 6 days from Gillsbury to HQ. From where you guys are now, you could probably get to Gillsbury in 5.
So it's equidistant between us and them?
Essentially. It's like you're making a triangle with Gillsbury HQ and where you guys are.
Alright, so it's not exactly convenient to send Baleen out to pick up Gillsbury.
And even if we can pick up Gillsbury, then what? That's a bunch of people who...
Well...
I mean, no offense to them, I love them, but they're not cut out to fight a war or whatever it is that we're going to be doing.
Right. Well, we know some safer places than there, but... I'm sorry, Finn, I don't know what we can do about it right now. I mean, if we get away from these ships, we might be able to sail that way, but...
Yeah, but Amelia, do you have parchment?
I do.
And ink?
Yes.
Can I have some?
Yes.
No!
Yeah, it would have been fucked up if you said no.
She's a very, like, straightforward and logical, so she's just like, yes, yes, yes. And she, tells one of her crew members to go grab it from her cabin and bring it back to you.
Once I have the parchment and ink, I am going to write a letter to my father.
Okay. Marco kind of is like, I'm just going to tell them to get off of HQ first and then meet us, just get as far away as they can, and then meet us at some point.
And take as much as they can.
Yeah.
Have them let you know their course.
He nods, and kind of like goes off and draws on the power of Melora to cast sending. Finn, you write your letter.
Yeah. I write my letter. Dear Dad, how are you? I am really not fine. Getting less fine by the day, it often seems. Adventuring, it turns out, involves a lot more people you care about being in danger than I had sort of initially imagined. And that brings me to a favor I need to ask of you. I'm sure you're familiar with Gillsbury. It's where I'm from. It's where you left me on the beach roughly 19 years ago. And I need it to be defended. I know they're air breathers and all that, but it is very, very important to me that nothing bad happen to that village. Nothing bad happened to that island, because I'm worried there might be bad people coming to attack them. And if there's one entity I know who could stop them in their tracks, it's you. So, pretty please? It would mean a lot to me. Love, Finn. And then I'm going to fold that up, put it in an envelope, and toss it into the ocean.
Andy, make me a charisma check.
That's a natural 1,
Oh my god.
No!
which comes to a 6.
Oh,
I don't get advantage.
no. You don't know. So what a 6 does for you is you drop the envelope, you drop it onto the surface of the water, the still kind of somewhat choppy seas that are out here, and you watch as the paper gets waterlogged, as it sinks. You kind of see it disappearing behind the ship and also below the waves, and the seas are the lurker's domain, right? It's there. Surely he's going to see it, he's going to notice it, he's going to do something. But the seas themselves are certainly giving you no indication one way or the other.
I stare at it. Even after it's out of view, I stare at the spot where I dropped it.
You all, shell-shocked, injured, but alive, and together, and kind of all out. You look around, you've got the three of you.
We got everyone.
You got Nira. You got Alden and Nell and Shiloh are still kind of like leaned against. You can see all three of them really, but especially Alden and Nell look so kind of shell-shocked, and their usual like jumping in with ideas and plans is completely absent in this moment, as Nira is sort of like pacing back and forth across the side of the ship, and Amelia sets a course for just away. And I think that's where we can end our session, as
Jesus Christ.
you've gotten away, and something is going to need to be done somehow.
Jesus. Reagan's gonna go get Blackout.
Wow. Man.
For a change.
We thought he was doing better. He's not doing better.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Okay, thank you all so much for joining us for episode 43. Hey, if you like that content, we will be on other parts of the internet. You can find us at Ship of Fools Cast on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. And you can also find us at patreon.com/shipoffools for lots of fun bonus content, including our Patreon exclusive after show where we sit in a mud bath, which we really need after this episode, and all sort of just let that settle. So feel free to join us for that over on Patreon.
We're gonna kick Hannah into her own mud bath.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept it. I deserve it at this point. There's, as always, some people we need to thank. Thank you to Theo Golden for our beautiful logo art. You can find him at tgoldenart on Instagram. And thank you to Lucas Mangold for our theme music. You can find him at lucascarlmusic@gmail.com for all of your music needs.
That's Carl with a K.
It certainly is. And you can find us back with another episode on March 29th as we figure out where to go from here.
Wow.
And until then, we will see you on the open seas. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Yahoy.
Well, I guess the adventure will be in the open air. That heinous bitch.